Senior Living Today, brought to you by these fine sponsors: Wires Inc., First Class Realty, Triangle East, and Ward Specialty Pharmacy.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Senior Living Today. You'll notice on the set it's just myself tonight. We're calling this Teaching Tuesday, and we're so glad you're with us. You know, before we get right into our sponsors, a lot of folks, thankful to you, have called in to Statewide with questions about Medicare. So you might be asking, what are we going to talk about tonight? It is Medicare that you do not see on TV, that you do not have 100 questions for. It says buy, buy, buy. We want to simply educate you tonight, and we're glad you're here. So we hope you got a pencil and paper. Pull up, snuggle up. We're going to get ready and dive right into it. But first, let's take a look at who sponsors this show. Without their help, we wouldn't be able to come to you. And of course, that starts off with Wires Inc., Mr. Brian West and his crew. Now, folks, you've heard Cheryl, Mr. Brazel, who's not with us tonight, or Devin Bolding, who is not with us tonight. They always talk about how he can make your truck, your vehicle, or whatever you've got pretty. But something they've started doing, they are putting window tint in the homes. We know the temperatures, 95 to 100 and plus. Now you have a way to alleviate all of that. Again, that's Wires Inc., Brian West and crew. Ward Specialty Pharmacy. Before I even get into Patrick Ignacio, you know, Patrick being a compounding pharmacy, one of the major things that we do on Senior Living Today is take a look at your drug plans. Your drug plans is where a ton of money is spent, and if you're blessed to not to have to take many, you are truly receiving a blessing. If you have to take many, this is a place where Patrick and what we call Ward Specialty Pharmacy. Now, the reason he's a compounding pharmacy, he can actually take your drugs, take a look at them, and see what he can do to bring down the cost. And he's local. He's right here in, let's see the exact, he's right across on Sunset. And everyone knows, as Cheryl said today, he's right across the street from Harris Teeter. So we want you to give Patrick a call, give him a look at, especially on the specialty drugs. Our last, and we look at real estate. I don't need to tell you how hot this real estate market is. Now, you may have decided not to sell, and that's wonderful. Hopefully your property is paid for. You may decide to need information. First Class Realty, and that's going to be Triangle East, Brett Hill, his staff. They'll help you navigate through this hot market. Folks, that could be commercial, that could be residential, or maybe you just got questions that you need answers to, because the real estate market is not like it was 25 years ago. Folks, that's our sponsors. We look forward to it. And if you remember last week, we had a fine gentleman in here from the chamber, Mr. Sam Bass. Gave us some great insight in what the chamber does for our local community here in Nash, Edgecombe, and surrounding areas. He talked about the growth, but he left me with something to pass on to you if you'd like a little bit of excitement, a little something different, and that is Milton Bullock, who maybe you already know is known as the Golden Platter. He's playing music in the train station tomorrow from 10 to 12. And he's going to be there every other Wednesday starting tomorrow. You know, it's one of those things that you don't want to miss. The chamber does many things for us in the community, but this is an exciting thing. No cost. Refreshments will be provided by the chamber. We want you to come out, experience the golden part of our city, and there are many great aspects of our great city here in Rocky Mount. Folks, that gives us the lead-in of what we've got, and we call this Teaching Tuesday. So let's jump right into it. We're already 6 minutes into the show and haven't even got to the meat of it. Folks, we watch TV, and we learn a lot from that. Some things we can cast aside, others we can't. But you know, coming up in the very few months ahead of us, we're going to be seeing a lot of buy Medicare, buy Medicare Advantage, buy. The question I have for you, if you're dealing with someone out of the city, not local, are you getting the proper answers? Are you getting the information you need? Are you sitting across from the person answering those questions? Or are you doing a Zoom call? Maybe just a telephone call. That's one of the things that we do at Statewide, right here in Rocky Mount. 880 Country Club Road, and that's easy to find. Pizza Inn right across the way of us, 252-316-8166. So during the show, jot that number down, because I promise you as I dive into this, you're going to have some questions. Now, the difference in what I'm educating you tonight, since we're calling this Teaching Tuesday, simple name, but if we can bring some clarity to what goes on in the Medicare field with our seniors, then we've accomplished something tonight. Everything that comes at you, I know you have questions. What is a Medicare Advantage? What is a savings plan? Well, tonight, folks, your grandparents, mine, my mother and father, we grew up on, quote, original Medicare. And they had letters. They started out with A, they started out with G, then there's a J and a D, and Medicare decided, CMS, Center for Medicare Services, these plans just are too rich. So tonight we're going to talk about two of them. That's going to be Plan F and compare it with Plan G. F in Frank, G as in girl. So as we look at it, and I'm going to give you some prices to kind of go off of, because you are actually turning to what we call literally the book of knowledge for Medicare. And I'm going to be quoting right out of this so I do not misquote anything tonight or give you any misdirection on what we're talking about with Plan F as in Frank. Now folks, a lot of you may not have that plan because as of January 1, we were not able to sell that plan. And it goes all the way back a year prior to turning 65. So as we talk tonight, Plan F, unless you have it, it is a blessing, but I can tell you it's probably quite expensive. So let's dive into it. The first thing you're thinking is, I love my Plan F. Have I got to get rid of it? No, you do not. But we need to equate how much it costs and how much utilization. What are we actually using this plan for? So we jump right into it. Plan F, let's say, hypothetically, we go to the hospital. Well, the first thing you know on your Medicare card, you had to call Social Security to do what? Acquire a Medicare card. It had Part A, it had Part B. A Alpha took care of the hospital. Part B, Bravo, took care of medical things in the hospital, outpatient, inpatient. Now, with that, you had a Part A deductible. Well, just a short time back, now everybody stay with me, your deductible for Part A was $1,484. As I sit before you now, it has risen to $1,556. Now, the beauty of this, Plan F and Plan G pay for that deductible if you have that plan. And as long as you make your premiums and keep everything current, so when you go into the doctor's office, you would lay down your Part A, B card, which we call Medicare card, red, white, and blue, lay it down, and then you would give your Medicare supplement card and lay it down. It could be the billing office where you're coming in or just where you're checking in with your doctor. Now, a lot of folks may say, well, Joey, you're taking this very simplistically. We're just kind of walking through it one step at a time. Folks, it can become a quagmire with Medicare if you don't understand being bombarded, whether it's podcast, TV, radio, buy this, buy that. So that's why we're taking a few extra minutes tonight, brought to you by Statewide Insurers Group, right here local. Let's go back to Plan F. So we're in the hospital, and let's say we stay for a few days, okay? Our deductible is paid by Medicare. Now I'm going to hold up my hand as if this was your Medicare. Part A and B card, red, white, and blue card. This is your Medicare. 80%. 80 cents on the dollar. Well, folks, what about that 20 cents, 20% left over? 80 and 20 is your 100%. Okay, that's why you want Medicare supplement. Now, a lot of people may call it a Medigap policy. There are many names, but it is called a supplement to do what? To supplement what Medicare does and fill those gaps so you have little to no money out of your pocket. As long as you do what? You make your monthly premium. Critical. Some people can pay quarterly. We've had folks at the office pay for the complete year. But times are difficult. And at $5 a gallon of gas, $4 for a gallon of milk, I've had people sit before me and ask, Joey, I've either got to pay my rent or my medication. I've either got to buy food or my medication. And that's why Statewide Insurers Group is right here local for you to get these answers in private consultation. So let's say we were in the hospital for a couple of days and Medicare picks up that. What else does that cover? If we were in there for 3 days and the doctor says, well, we need to go to a skilled nursing facility, all right, fine. Skilled nursing facility states right here in black and white, you have to do what? You have to be in the hospital for 3 days in order to what? Receive that skilled nursing facility care for the first 20 days, all approved amounts. Days 21 through 100, there is a copay, but with Plan F, you have no cost. And that's a beautiful thing. But let's say we're looking at cost in what they call in Medicare world, excess charges, EXCESS, excess charges, over and above what Medicare approved amounts are. Folks, who do you think pays for that? That's right, I'm staring at you. And I hope you're taking good notes tonight. Well, the Plan F and the Plan G both pick up excess charges over and above the approved amounts of Medicare. And I don't know about you, but that's very critical. It may happen a lot, it may not happen at all. The bottom line is we don't want it to happen to you. You want to be covered if a situation like that raises its head. What next? On the Part A, Alpha. Remember on your card, Part A. Let's not get confused. I'm repeating myself a lot. Part B, red, white, and blue card. We are talking about Plan F, as in Frank. Plan F, as in Frank. The next thing on Part A side is hospice care. We don't need to dive into that. That's pretty simple. Speaks for itself, but we're not there. We need to just take care of our body, keep it going as much as we can, close to 100% as possible. So let's turn the page and go to what I call Part B. Remember, Part A and Part B with the Plan F, and that's what we're talking about. So we look at it. Well, is there a deductible? We've had that call. Do we have deductibles on that side of it as well? So you're telling me Part A has a deductible? $1,550? I think it's $1,558 is what we said. $1,556. Well, what is the deductible then for Part B Bravo? Folks, it used to be $203. That also, thanks to the Center for Medicare Services, has gone up to $233. Now, the beautiful, I guess, part of this would be if you have Plan F, it pays for it. Again, you're looking at a monthly premium. As long as you make that premium, we have no problems. But we've had folks come in, maybe they didn't receive their bill. Maybe they didn't make a timely payment, and they're not able to get back on Plan F. We'll talk about that in a minute, what ifs, ands, or buts. But Part B, Bravo, medical. We've talked about Part A, that's the hospital. Let's talk about what's in the hospital. Inpatient, outpatient, medical expenses, durable medical equipment. All of this falls under Part B, Bravo, on your red, white, and blue card. Now, what else falls there? Remember we talked about excess charges? Yes. Okay, I just got a little nod from the producer in the back. I've gone too far. I need to stop here. Keep seated. We've got more to come, and simplified as this may sound, I know it gets difficult. I'll see you right back after a quick commercial break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Today, brought to you by these fine sponsors: Wires Inc., First Class Realty, Triangle East, and Ward Specialty Pharmacy.
Statewide Insurers Group gave us choices in our Medicare coverage. Check out their options to answer your insurance needs. The choice is yours.
At Statewide Insurers Group, we work with every client as an individual case. We try to find what's going to work for you and your needs.
We really do all the research. I like to say we do the nitty-gritty so you don't have to, so we can accommodate everything you need from start to finish.
At Statewide, we want to find the fit that works for you. You need to give us a call. We can do a life review, health insurance, and all of the above. And we're located at 880 Country Club Road, right here in Rocky Mount. And telephone number is 252-316-8166. We look forward to hearing from you. Folks, welcome back. That was a quick minute break, minute and a half, but we wanted to come right back since we were running a little bit long. So let's pick up right where we were. Folks, to recap, we were talking about a plan, F as in Frank, to cover you. That is your supplement to go with what? Your Part A and Part B, what we call at Statewide your red, white, and blue card. So where were we in coverage? We were talking about Part B Bravo. That's things that go on in the hospital, inpatient, outpatient, durable medical equipment, and I left you with excess charges. And that's what falls under, we discussed that earlier. Anything over and above what Medicare does not approve, this plan pays for it, as well as G. Remember tonight, we're talking about original Medicare, Plan F, Frank, and Plan G, girl. Okay, let's continue. So we've talked about the part excess. Blood is covered. If we need transfusion, if we need a pint, if we need multiples, it's covered right here. Clinical lab work. Now folks, a lot of people have these extra charges for clinical lab work. The beauty of having a plan, I'm going to read this to you right out of the book. Clinical laboratory services, tests for diagnostic services, paid 100% by Medicare. You might be asking, why would a Plan F or G pay 100% for me to go when I've had to pay when I go sometime? That's why you want to call Statewide to find out what that difference is. There are slight deviations. Doctors charge different things. Anesthesiologist, I could get right in the weeds with you, but this is a private conversation. But right here, you want to go to the lab. You want to go to your doctor. And the reason for it, the mindset, what's behind this with the Center for Medicare Services? They would much rather you find something out early than wait for it to manifest into something huge. You can look very easily at the cost factor. I don't need to tell you what we've just come through with what? 2 years of a pandemic. What has it done to our hospital staff, overworked nurses, doctors, etc., frontline people, first responders, I could go on. But folks, that's why your plan is so critical. This plan we're talking about, again I repeat, Plan F. Some may have it, you cannot buy it anymore. So if you have it and it's expensive, we're going to talk about that before we close, you have options. But let's continue, we're almost done. As I'm looking at home health care, medically necessary skilled care services and medical supplies, Medicare pays 100%. That's where, again, you want to be right there at Statewide to have this. If it is, in my case, where I was the caretaker for my mother and father for 3 years, Dad was a Marine, my mother, we had the VA, but we still had to go through different situations on a timely basis and usually daily. And that's where these plans are so effective. And you need to know what the underline is, what you can expect, and what you want to happen, and receive what? For what you're paying for. Durable medical equipment. Everyone knows what we're talking about there. Handrails. They could be walkers, canes, lifts for bed. All of this. Durable medical equipment. The first $233 Medicare approved amount Done. Paid 100% right here. Nothing. That's the point you want to look at. They want to make sure that you are aware of what's in your plan. Please don't sit on that couch and just say, I'm going to the doctor and throw my Part A card up there. And here's my Plan F. And y'all, let me know what I owe. You need to have the background. You need to know you're in Medicare now. This is not health coverage that we had a group plan with our employer, or maybe you had an individual plan where you stood alone. That's gone. Medicare usually starts, unless it's a disability, at age 65. And you want to start planning before that. You don't want to wait until the day of 65. You want to get what? Ahead of it. This way, when it comes down to that day you turn 65, everything's done. And that's what we do at Statewide. Okay, here we go. Last thing, whether you do or you don't, it's in the plan. Foreign travel. It utilizes what you have right here, and it says the first $250 per year is what you pay, up to $50,000 if you are out of country. That's another thing we can go over at Statewide, not spending much time on it. We're running out of time, so I'm going to kind of expedite. I'm going to speed this up a little bit. Folks, you just heard about Plan F. Let's take and put that mirror and turn it, and we're going to put it on Plan G, as in girl. There is no real difference in the two plans except one thing. Your Part B deductible. Again, I'm repeating myself, and I know it. Red, white, and blue card. Part A is the hospital. It has a $1,556 deductible that your plan pays for. Plan F. Well, how about Plan G, Joey? Plan G is in girl. Will pay that $1,556 for your Part A. But here's your difference. Part B, there is a $233 deductible. Don't get confused. Plan G has that. Plan F does not. So if you have Plan G, we will meet that $233 one time. Then the rest of the year, Plan F and Plan G are identical. Mirror image. Well, Joey, what's the big difference if it's only a deductible? Folks, you've come to something. It's called price. And I'm going to share with you a few prices. They're not all in stone. They are what dictated up until the end of May 2022. I know I have rode this horse to death, but you want someone that knows and has the knowledge of CMS, Center for Medicare Services, Statewide Insurers Group. Mr. Brazel, myself, Devin, we have a new gentleman there that's doing. Folks, we need to hear from you. I'm going to touch that one time, 880 Country Club Road, right here in Rocky Mount. 252-316-8166. Now get your pencil down, because here we're going to do, before I go into our close, we're already 25 after, and my gracious, time flies when we're having fun. Female, non-tobacco. Now folks, let's say hypothetically you came in at age 65, and I'm looking at Plan G, because remember, you cannot buy Plan F again. So here's where, sitting on that couch, or ever how, with the streaming, ever how you're watching us tonight, you have to ask yourself, do I want to keep the price I have with Plan F, or do I want to think about moving to Plan G? Now, a lot of things come into context with that. We have some that are very, very sickly. They'll have a difficult time because they'll have to go through medical questions. And if we don't qualify for that, unfortunately, Plan G is not accessible. We are pretty much permanent with Plan F. And that's where we look at cost. But there are other options. We can talk about those later. Tonight is just F and G. A 65-year-old female non-smoker, $106. Let's say, well, let's keep going and I'll bring the man in a minute. Let's say 75 years of age, Plan G, $138. We have one that's 81 years of age, and they still write it, I'm looking at the bottom, 86 plus, So it's not a limit, it's not a ceiling for you. Please keep that in mind. But 81 is $165. Now, if you were to add the male, remember, I'm going to use the figures, go back and forth, 106 for a 65-year-old. Female, non-smoker. Male, non-smoker, 65 years of age, $120. Now let me read right out of what we call, it's not really the Bible, but it's all the information that CMS has. Multiple, husband and wife is insured, you get an additional 15% off the rate below if 2 or more members are insured. That's a good deal. And if you're not getting that, if husband and wife are with different plans, we need to take a look at it. That's something what we do again at Statewide. Folks, I'm going to close with, let's go with the male, 75 years of age, a little bit older. You know if you have Plan F. 75 years of age, Plan G, 155. Think about this now. Again, if both husband and wife are on the plan, Plan G, you got a 15% reduction, written right here in big bold letters. I'm going to check one more, 80 years of age. 80 years of age, male, non-tobacco, 179. Now, folks, I want you to think about what you're paying sitting on that couch. You may be saying, well, I'm paying nothing. You want to make sure that's true when you go to the hospital. Do I have any max out of pocket? Do I have any surprises? Because it's always easy to say, I'm happy to sell you this, and it doesn't cost you a thing, and you're going to get this, 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 and this. Folks, there's always a lot of fine print. For the 4th time, that's the reason you want somebody that deals in this. And between Cheryl, myself, one other, Devin, we've got over 90 years in this. Long time for 4 people to be doing Medicare supplements, and it's an honor to serve you. So you want to look at what you're paying, in conclusion, what you're paying for Plan F. Do I need to move? Do I have questions that I need to ask? If I'm looking for G, we're looking at cost factor, because the only difference in F and G is that Part B deductible, $233. And if G, that's the plan you have or want, I pay that one time. Plan G is identical to Plan F. Folks, I hope you got something out of it tonight. That is Plan F and Plan G. It has been an honor to explain it to you. And I'm going to go out with a bang, just like we came in. I need to just hit one more time. Don't forget, Brian West, Wires Inc. They'll take care of every vehicle, even down to your home. Ward Specialty Pharmacy, Patrick Iglesia. As we're looking, Compounding Pharmacy loaded across the street from Harris Teeter. And then, of course, Brett Hill and his staff. And we're talking, of course, real estate. First class real estate, Triangle East. You need to shop local. I can't even push that hard enough. You're going to hear that one more time, but I want you to do something for me tomorrow. And this, is, of course, is right there from Mr. Bass. We're talking Mr. Sam Bass from the Chamber. Don't forget Milton Bullock. And he's known as the Golden Platter. And you can tell I'm reading this. I want to get it correct for all of the folks in the viewing area. He's playing music tomorrow at the train station, and he'll be there from 10 to 12, free of charge, every other Wednesday. We want you to go. Remember, every other Wednesday, he'll be there tomorrow, and you don't want to miss it. And of course, what are we looking at? The Chamber's doing what? Supplying refreshments. Pull up a chair. Have some great memories. That's the experience, the golden part of our city. And that's thanks again to the Chamber and Mr. Sam Bass. Folks, shop local. Find a church that you can settle down into. We are just a growing community. You need to know who your neighbors are. You need to be able, when you're talking about these products and things about your life, senior living today, 65 forward, you got to have somebody that you can trust. I look forward to serving you. Mr. Cheryl Braswell does, David Bolding, all the folks at Statewide Insurers Group right here in Rocky Mount. Be blessed, and we look forward to seeing you next time on Senior Living Today. Have a blessed evening. Thanks. Good night.
Brought to you by these fine sponsors: Wires Inc., First Class Realty, Triangle East, and Ward Specialty Pharmacy.
Statewide Insurers Group gave us choices in our Medicare coverage. Check out their options to answer your insurance needs. The choice is yours.
At Statewide Insurers Group, we work with every client as an individual case. We try to find what's going to work for you and your needs.
We really do all the research. I like to say we do the nitty-gritty so you don't have to, so we can accommodate everything you need from start to finish.
At Statewide, we want to find the fit that works for you. You need to give us a call. We can do a life review, health insurance, and all of the above. And we're located at 880 Country Club Road, Radian in Rocky Mount. And telephone number is 252-316-8166. We look forward to hearing from you.